One, two, there's 3 or 4 other places selling soup. This one is the best?
This is it.
Althea Guerra has been selling her homemade soups from this stand for almost 20 years. On the menu today, cow heel soup, made with vegetables, lime, a little nutmeg, and yes, boiled cow heels. See, I must be a very important guest because he's trying to fish out some particularly large pieces of cow heel for me. Oh boy, that smells fabulous. A little robust.
The heel of a cow, it will be robust.
All right, cow heel soup. Wow. See, I gotta tell you, there's that chewy little bit of cow heel and skin that you just can't quite penetrate with your teeth no matter how hard you try. Now,
Hot sauce.
yeah, that looks hot. We'll try a little bit of that.
And it doesn't have a label, so it'll be extra hot. Extra hot.
I'm hoping for that. I love spicy food.
You love spicy? Well,
I do.
You just got it.
I do. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Ready to lift off?
Well, yeah, you know, when it's hot, it should be hot. This is kind of nuclear. I like that.
Okay, well, this is the entrance to Chithom, which is quite a big local market. It's a market that I know quite well because I used to live around here.
What are these?
These are little paddy crabs. She's pulling the backs off the crabs. She'll then take the flesh and the legs and pound them in her fabulous pestle and mortar beneath, and that will end up making the paste.
Since many homes in Vietnam don't have refrigeration, people come to the market on a daily basis. Dinner becomes whatever is available that day. Rabbits, chickens, pigeons. What happened to all the live poultry that used to be here?
When avian influenza hit Vietnam quite hard a couple of years ago, they banned the slaughter of any live birds within the city limits. So it's actually a really big cultural hurdle for people to get over.
I'm ready for something a bit more exotic. These are just beautiful. What are
gorgeous?
those?
They're rice flour dumplings that are filled with minced pork, dried prawn, and it's flavored with cloud's ear fungus, the black wood ear fungus. You dip it in the sauce and pop it in your mouth.
It's like a tapioca skin. You bite down on it and it pushes back against the top of your mouth, and that crunchy shrimp on the inside is just amazing. The textures here are just out of control. Thank you very much. No Starbucks here. The attraction at this place is something called civet coffee. Table number 2, a fitting number considering the type of coffee that we're having.
Indeed it is.
Yes, believe it or not, this coffee comes from the back end of a furry little mammal. Now, this has to be high on the list of all-time bizarre foods. A civet cat is a small mongoose-like animal, and the coffee is made from the undigested coffee beans that have been eaten by the civet. While the beans are still in berry form, they're digested by the civet and then deposited onto the jungle floor. The beans are gathered, roasted, and served like any other coffee.
I mean, just the normal coffee process is bizarre enough in itself, but then picking it out of a pile of poop, that is surprisingly good.
It's fabulous. And you know something? I can't tell that it was expelled from some wild animal's derriere, but you can tell this coffee is different. It has a really long finishing note, and it's a little smoky and peaty tasting almost. Just what I needed, a little coffee boost to get me back to my hotel. It's true that most Chinese cuisine is affordable by American standards, but the markets are probably the best deal of all. There are dozens of street vendor type markets of various sizes sprinkled around central Beijing. The restaurant scene in Beijing is fairly well developed, but if you want to check out some unusual foods, hit the street. Wang Fujing's shopping street is pedestrian only and houses international retailers as well as huge emporiums filled with Chinese goods.
Just down a side street, a decorative archway marks one of the best places to find traditional Beijing street snacks. Sticky, sugar-glazed fruit is standard fare at these markets. There's roast corn, fresh pork, squid, and chicken, all grilled while you wait. In this market, if it swims, crawls, or flies, it's skewered, seasoned, and grilled as a snack. This is a type of cicada, griddled to perfection.
All right. The last time that I saw a bug this size, I was shooing him off my screen door during the summertime. Oh my gosh. Bugs like this tend to taste of what they eat off of, and I can only think that this one was collected in some barn where a lot of giant hoofed animals took a very sturdy dump. This is horrifying.
Grasshoppers are also offered here as a snack food, mostly because they're plentiful and cheap.
It's kind of like eating paper. A lot of it gets stuck in your teeth. This is funky, but good. Now, traditionally, seahorses are found in soups and stews, but I just couldn't resist trying one. Here goes. These are gross. They're crunchy. They're way too salty. They're really fishy. They're bony.
In Beijing, there's lots of authentic eating on the streets at all hours, day or night. The Wangfujing area is a good place to visit during the day. At night, however, there are even more options. Just a few blocks away is a veritable smorgasbord of bizarre dinner foods. Danwei Men Market is a popular spot for young people and tourists alike and gets hopping around 8 o'clock every evening. It was shut down during the Cultural Revolution in the 1960s. Now, the illuminated stalls are identical looking, but the wares they're hawking are all very, very different.
This is the Dunhua Men Night Market in Beijing, and while the government came in here several years ago and sanitized the area, vendors are now required to have licenses, for example. Some of the street foods that you're going to find here are about as gritty and visceral as street food gets anywhere in the world.
Noodles are made to order with your choices of vegetables and meats. There's dumplings galore, even giant steamed dumplings filled with soup, and all kinds of seafood, like broiled oysters, barbecued eel, and even raw sea urchins.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Beautiful. You can pay $20 a portion for sea urchin in a fancy sushi restaurant in Los Angeles or New York, or you can pay $1 here in Beijing.
Sea urchins are often eaten raw or boiled, simply halved and doused with mustard oil. The 6 foamy coral strips that lay inside are the salty roe sacs or eggs.
That's some good sea urchin. Sort of like the foie gras of the sea. It's a little bit livery. It's very smooth. It's funky. You gotta go for something that's called PP beef balls. This is actually a floating soup dumpling dish that has more soup inside the balls and they explode in your mouth. I'll take one.
The beef-filled dumplings are simmered in a broth with fresh herbs and chilies.
You gotta let these things cool down. Trust me on this. It's hot. Yeah. Oh, he knows. How many people a night do you think this guy watches burn the roof of their mouth? These little beef balls are hollow. So hot soup explodes into your mouth. It's almost like a trick food. For about 70 cents, you get a fabulous pork and black fungus wrap. Little chili, little hoisin sauce. Roll that up burrito style. Fantastic, thank you.
Pork shoulder is commonly used in these wraps. It's combined with a strange-looking mushroom native to Asia called the black wood ear fungus.
No wonder she asked me if I wanted the onion. It's a garlic top. That's very, very strong. Very tasty, though. Good fungus. I'll tell you, the street food in this town is remarkable.
Markets are the most convenient way to discover the gamut of Beijing's odd yet tasty culinary delights. The Minnesota State Fair is famous for the food on a stick concept with more than 50 options to choose from, appetizers to desserts. Since I've eaten many of these before, I've asked my friend Campbell, an old family buddy and food freak in training, to join me for a cholesterol-inducing, calorie-laden taste test. We start in, of all places, the food building. Only in Minnesota, a Reuben on a stick for Campbell and a wild rice corn dog for me. Interesting. They've even got the rye bread coating kind of covered.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Oh.
Switch. You can't tell that apart from a regular corn dog.
That is true.
The construction of this is a little less concise. It's a little sloppily built. There's air pockets and stuff in there, but it tastes kind of like a Reuben. There's sauerkraut in there, caraway seeds.
True.
It's got the pumpernickel bun, the corned beef sausage on the inside. I think this works a little better.
How about spaghetti, cheese, meatballs, and garlic bread all in one, deep fried and served with tomato dipping sauce?
That is weird.
Isn't it? But it's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'd eat that again.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Back out on the grounds, and there are even more options.
It's a lot like turkey.
Isn't it fabulous?
Mm-hmm.
More people should eat gator. Yeah. What's this like?
It's like a really soft steak. Mm-hmm. With a lot of different flavor.
It's a good vehicle for sauce.
Yes.
Let's go get some dessert. Oh, they're so gross. Deep fried candy bar? You can't make this stuff up. But you gotta have another bite.
Yeah. So messy.
Uh-huh.
But so good.
La Paz, Bolivia is the world's highest capital city at 11,200 feet above sea level and is the country's center for industry and commerce. When it comes to food, however, the best place to find it is still on the ground level. Nowhere in Bolivia is the fusion of the country's indigenous cultures more complete than in La Paz. And nowhere in this city is the fusion of those cultures more self-evident than in the local markets. First stop for me is the Rodriguez Market, where I'm meeting local chef and caterer Vesna Lacoste. Vesna specializes in traditional Bolivian cooking. How many markets are in town?
Uptown, you have three main markets, which is the Mercado Rodriguez, which we will be visiting. Then you have Mercado Uruguay, Mercado Lanza, and Mercado Camacho.
Most markets in La Paz have foods you can sample or eat as you go. Are those what I think they are?
Yes, they're pig's feet.
Oh, look at that. Hot pickled peppers are the perfect foil for the salty meat. I have to try this. Here. Yeah, just push.
Push, just take the meat out.
There, you can take
All right.
take a little bit. You've been very, very kind to leave me the toes.
That's what you like the best?
Boy, I'll tell you, there is nothing quite like eating a salted, pickled pig's foot in the middle of the marketplace at almost 2 miles above sea level. Everything tastes better the higher up you
The
are.
higher up you are.
Yeah. Now here's something you don't see many places in the world: lamb jerky. You know, every once in a while, I come face to face with a food that scares me a little bit.
It doesn't look that bad, though, does it?
No, it's looking at it and feeling it, and the fat is melting, and the bones are there, and the hair is still on it. This is pretty darn good. It's hard as a rock. And it's definitely lamb.
It's definitely lamb.
Salty, lamby. This tastes like the pile of hay that the little lamb sleeps on. But it's kind of addictive.
It is.
Just a few blocks away is the Uruguay market, where you can find everything from llama to lizards. Some vendors also cook their foods for you while you wait. How do you know which vendor is the best one to eat at?
Well, I think you look at the cook, and if she's looks nice, it's a better place to go.
Well, based on that, then we ought to get a snack here.
Yeah.
Almost every vendor here sells the exact same thing: fried fish, chitlins, and tripe.
Okay, so we're gonna try the tripe.
Oh, you gotta have tripe. Tripe is,
A lot of cholesterol.
well, yeah. And when it's not cleaned, a lot of something else too.
That's true. Very chewy. What do you think?
Very chewy. And as we say in the intestine eating business, you can definitely tell what that is.
Only in Bolivia, a very odd juice drink with an even stranger name: mocochinchi. There are 4 choices: a dark and a light peanut butter concoction, and a light and dark peach flavored variety.
So what does mocochinchi mean?
Mocochinchi means booger.
Booger. Booger juice?
Booger juice, right?
Interesting. Well, I mean, just based on that alone, I've got to try one.
Definitely.
I opt for the darker peanut mocochinchi.
All right, cheers.
Have a drink.
That's good.
Nice. Tastes nice.
This tastes like peanut butter milk.
Something like that. Yeah.
This is peanut milk.
It is. It is.
Now, this booth, I'm told, has some of the best llama jerky in town.
This is llama jerky.
You know what I can't escape is how similar this tastes to venison. This is awesome. I'd much rather eat the llama jerky than I would a big hunk of moldy llama fat
Definitely.
any day of the week.
The llama plays a significant role in Bolivian culture. It's a source of food, clothing, and is often the focal point of traditional ceremonies.
At the bottom of Cerro San Cristobal is the Bella Vista neighborhood, one of the best places to window shop in stores, hang out in restaurants, see the beautiful people, and of course, admire the llamas. This guy's name is Don Pablo. It's all right? It's all right. No kiss?
Street food can be found along crowded sidewalks as well as in impromptu cafes just off the main drag. One of my favorite foods to try when I'm traveling is unusual fruits.
Ooh, that looks good. Look at that, melon, pineapple, mango. What's lucuma? Oh, it's like a avocado. Similar? Wow. This is particularly disgusting looking. I'll try one. See, lucuma.
The lucuma is a tropical fruit native to the Andean coastal valleys of Chile. Because of its unusual delicate taste, it's a popular flavoring for ice cream and juices.
Oh my gosh. That's good. It tastes just like caramel. Wow. Oh, it's even got that really intense molasses finish like great caramel should. Lucuma.
Some street food vendors move around the city, while others have become a destination.
Here on the Puente de la Carros, you'll usually find vendors selling donkey milk. Now, locals here in Santiago believe that the milk will cure a variety of ailments, most importantly, anyone suffering from anemia.
This leche de burro is supposed to have certain health benefits.
Oh, really? Really? It's good for 3 times after one of these. You heard it here first, liquid Viagra.
I just have to try it.
Muchas gracias, amigo. Thin, with a slightly gray-green hue and a nice frothy head of foam. Just exactly what I like in my donkey milk. Oh, and best of all, it's still warm. You know, some things, as I'm about to try it for the first time, and I've never had this before, I just have to laugh at myself, and I oftentimes wonder, what in God's name am I doing here eating this? Wow, that's great. It's sweeter than I thought it would be. And also, I thought it would have sort of a grassier flavor, much sort of like sheep's milk or goat's milk. But it really tastes an awful lot like cow's milk, just not quite as good.
I hear that for one of Santiago's weirdest foods, I've got to go to a soccer game.
Across the street is the Estadio Nacional, where the locals play their football or soccer. And before the game, these crazy fans load up on a sandwich called the sanguche de patito, which is a cow's butt sandwich. And yes, it really is made from the butt of a cow. Muchas gracias. Boy, I'll tell you, the smell of the sausage and the simmering butt meat, the sinewy and fatty texture of all of that beef, the fat from the sausage that's dripped into the pan, the white wine, the vegetables. Oh my gosh, this is the perfect pregame snack. And look at some of that unusual musculature. It's quite something. Oh, that's good eating.
It reminds me of the hot beef sandwich they serve at Wrigley Field in Chicago, only this one is a lot more chewy.
Whoa! Well, the rain is back, and I've got my dulet. Now, dulet is another one of the famous Ethiopian raw meat concoctions that are so popular all over this country. This one is a mixture of raw goat or beef, and it's mixed with intestines and tripe that have been chopped up, and then it's quickly warmed in a pan with a little bit of butter. All right. My first taste of Ethiopian dulet. That is really rich. There's a lot of clarified fermented butter in there, and they've mixed this with a lot of berbere. There's a lot of pepper in here. And those intestines are a little raunchy. Tastes like the back end of the animal, if you know what I mean. There's a gaminess to this that's, I don't know, almost tastes like chewing raw tobacco. That's pretty hardcore. Wow. I'm not really sure about the second bite here. Oh. Dulet. Everybody loves it. You guys want to try some? Here. See, whoa! Here's the thing about Ethiopia. Sharing is very important. It's a big part of the hospitality. Anyway, hopefully next time it won't be as wet. And if you want to join the Clean Plate Club, you just invite a bunch of your friends.
Bar owner Jimmy Shimoda is taking me to the back streets of Dotonbori, a neighborhood that was once the city's red light district. Now, it's packed with little food shacks, and Jimmy says this is one of the best.
This smells good.
Ready to eat?
Yeah, I'm always ready, my friend.
The specialty here is a distinctly Osakan food style called horomon. Jimmy's Korean-Japanese, and it was Korean immigrants who first created horomon. Horomonu is Japanese for throwaway bits. Things like pig's windpipe, cow's uterus, and large intestine.
What I heard from my grandmother, she was Korean, and she came to Japan during the war, and they didn't have enough money. Those Korean people went to the meat shop and asked for those meat because they used throwaway.
Beautiful.
Once eaten only by people who couldn't afford anything else, this food has become a prized delicacy in Osaka.
The last time that I had something this furry looking, it scared me trying to chew it.
This is the pig's windpipe.
I don't like it.
Great flavor. It actually has a consistency of plastic. It seriously just tastes like a Christmas decoration you would put on your tree. I will tell you this, and please tell your chef friend, you could literally take a broken piece of rusted fender and dip it in that sauce, and it would be good. Because that little yaki glaze, that little grill glaze that he has on there is outstanding.
Here's the uterus.
This is some funky stuff. That's got a almost porky flavor to it.
And here's an ingredient that almost never disappoints.
Large intestine? Yeah.
Yep.
This looks particularly gooey.
It is, and a little bit greasy.
And a little, you think?
I think. That is my favorite, though.
That's fantastic.
You like it?
Oh my. That is spongy, beefy, greasy, fatty, chewy,
Very juicy.
but it tastes like the best piece of gristle on a steak. You know, got great, that's got great beef flavor, even though it's just a chunk of connective fat from the stomach. Wow. That is no wonder that's your favorite. That's very good. Thank you for taking me to this place. This is exactly the kind of joint that a visitor to this town would never find by themselves.
No tourists around here.
No.
This is how I like to get the true taste of a town. Find a neighborhood where the locals live, work, and eat. Nothing fancy, just a typical workday lunch, Osaka style. In Thailand, they call this a jungle market. The name doesn't mean that it's in a jungle, it's their version of a country roadside farmer's market. This one happens to be alongside a highway about an hour outside the region's biggest city, Udon Thani. It's the world's second oldest commercial venture. Just a bunch of people gathering up whatever they can catch or make or grow and trying to sell it. It's small, but there's food here I've never seen before. These little plastic bags each hold about 1 kilo of cow placenta.
That's right. You heard me correctly. The afterbirth of a calving. Cow placenta.
In some parts of the world, people use placenta to add vitamins, minerals, and flavor to their soups. Just seeing it is shocking to me. But as for tasting it, raw?
Yeah, that's a line I'm not going to cross today.
Markets like this are blending their traditional offerings with updated methods of packaging. In my hometown, plastic wrap is equated with sterility and generic phoniness. In a rural market like this one, plastic adds a touch of big city glamour to traditional food. And here's something else I've never seen before. This little fella doesn't look like any rat or squirrel that I've ever seen, so that means he's the one I'm most curious to taste.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now all I have to do is find somebody who can cook this up for me.
Typically in markets like this, people don't just shop for groceries to take home. It's also a fast food emporium where the food hawkers will cook up whatever fresh ingredients you bring them. And I'm still not sure what this critter is or how it's best prepared.
Here's my school of thought on this. If you're gonna roast your mole slash weevil slash anteater whole and not take the guts out of it, you wanna make sure there's plenty of salt. I will tell you something, I actually was somewhat excited about trying this until about 10 seconds ago when he sort of split open and the smell of his entrails sort of flooded the marketplace. Thank you very much. This is like jumping off a mountain, I swear to gosh. It's like parachuting. Science, you just have to say ready, set, go. Oh, God. Woo! So, I took a bigger bite than I was intending to, but if you can see that little tunnel, as I inhaled and pulled my mouth away, all of the aroma from the entrails just went right into my mouth. Here's the problem. Every time I say I'm not going to eat it again, I'm reminded of my rule, that is, I have to try it twice. Oh. That just has a sour, rancid aftertaste that
Sometimes words fail me. Before we leave the jungle market, a couple of follow-ups. First, I finally found someone who identified this creature as what is colloquially referred to as a bamboo rat. It's a cousin to the naked mole rat, but no one in this family looks too appetizing. Second, most people here don't eat their bamboo rats whole. They eat them stir-fried and wrapped in banana leaves. You live, you learn.
Well, I'll tell you. Whoa! Spicy. This proves once again that if you take some sort of wild rodent and you skin it and you blanch it and you strip it of all its fat and you shred the meat and you boil that along with lemongrass and chilies and bamboo shoots, just about anything tastes good. You're a very good cook. This is very good.
This is dried squid. See the tentacles hanging down?
The dried squid, as it begins to heat up, actually turns moist, kind of like putting red licorice in the microwave oven.
And then, to create a butter soft texture, you put them through the ringer to make them even flatter.
Oh yeah, here we go. Nice job. Very nice job. Nah, I like it straight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. Squid jerky. Salty, putrefied, chewy. Why do I love this stuff so much?
There's something about a fare that seems to make everyone crave fried food.
Well, that is a tiny little bird.
In Udentani, they don't do chicken wings. They do deep-fried sparrows.
Spoiled poultry flavor, masked by the unmistakable taste and aroma of completely spent frying oil. This is really unpleasant.
These are freshwater bass from the nearby Mekong River.
Now, this stuff has been salted and fermented at room temperature for about 3 days. You steam it, you can wok fry it. The smell of this tent that I'm in right now is kind of like a cross between a Limburger cheese factory, a sauerkraut drum, and Hulk Hogan's old sweaty gym socks.
This fish, and the way it's prepared, is unique to just one small part of this region. It's a source of pride, one that they hope to turn into a new exportable revenue source, which is why fairs like this go to such lengths to celebrate it. But for the rare foreign guest who is willing to give it a try, this is a challenge.
Certain foods engage the gag reflex in Westerners more so than others, and this smells like the bottom of the fish bucket after a long day in the rowboat out on the lake. I mean, it is ripe, ripe. You have to be careful of the teeny little bones that are in there. Oh yeah, and don't mind the rotted fish flavor either. Wow. That's ferocious. That is really ferocious. It's sour, it's putrid, it's got that cadaver aroma. Wow. That's pretty brutal. I would eat more, but I have a delicate system. You've got your choice when it comes to pizza here at PJ's. You have hot dog flavored, seafood, seafood curry powder, or Hawaiian. You know, I'm gonna have to go with the seafood curry powder.
This is not really someone trying to make pizza. This is a combination of artificial ingredients made to look like pizza.
All right. Oh, God. Oh, no way. It's all the fake cheese, fake seafood, and fake hot dog on there. The minute you put it in your mouth, you're just... Too much gag reflex. Can't do it. Can't even get past the thought. And as is normally the case, the foods that I find the most repulsive are the ones with the Most amount of ingredients that are not found in nature.
This is the biggest market in Bangkok, Klung Toi, at its peak time, 4 o'clock in the morning. This is when grocers, chefs, and household cooks come looking for some of the freshest food ingredients in the city. It's in an industrial working-class neighborhood near one of Bangkok's busy ports. It's a tough, gritty, sometimes dangerous place, but I come here every time I visit Bangkok because the food is always exciting, and I always find something new. This is Nim Korakot Poonla Pruska, a travel writer and photographer, and someone who's always ready for a friendly argument about food. She wants me to try a fruit that I've seen before, but always ignored.
This is called
Spodila,
spodila.
or in Thai it's called lamut.
Lamut.
Should we have half and half?
Yeah. Now I'm assuming you don't eat those seeds.
No. It's sandy and sweet. I confirm.
Sandy is usually not an adjective that I like when it comes to eating fruit.
Nim's a great friend to graze with. Even when I don't like something, I can have fun razzing her about it.
What do you think?
Right
No, Andrew, you can't say that.
then.
No, you're joking me. You don't like sandy? You don't like sweet?
This tastes like nasty fountain syrup
No.
back home in the States, and it's sandy, and it has this odd sort of cloying taste on the back of the throat.
One more word, sweet.
I'll give you that. It's a little bit sweet.
Fresh fruit comes here every morning from all over Thailand. It's a treasure trove of the familiar and the unexpected. As the sun comes up, we're moving beyond the fruit stalls to the critter kiosks.
But this is good. This is gonna be delicious.
What is it?
It's just like a catfish grill and then you eat with that sauce.
This is fresh catfish on a stick in a convenient single portion serving.
So it's the grilled fish, the sweet spicy sauce, and the bitter herb.
Right.
Sort of like Thailand in a nutshell. Wow, that fish is soft, buttery, melts in your mouth. Sweet chilies, the bitter leaves. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, wow is right.
Wow.
The catfish on a stick is fresh. The frogs on a stick, I've got my doubts.
Yeah, they're cold. When did she cook them?
วันนี้พี่ปิ้งไปแล้วเมื่อไหร่เนี่ย Couple hours ago already.
A couple hours ago?
Yeah, shall we?
These are the last frogs of the day, huh? You gotta love the fact that she just cooks them in their own skin. I get the feeling that they really weren't all the way dead when she started roasting them.
I don't want to know actually. I bet it will be good. Wow.
Oh,
How is that?
I mean, I like frog. This is old cold toad. I mean, need I say anything more? There's frog. Yummy. It even sounds good. Then there's old cold toad.
Many of the vendors at Klung Toi are from the northeast of Thailand, the poorest region in the country, where one of the richest sources of protein is bugs. These people from Isan are the ones who introduced that food into Bangkok food culture.
Two things that I don't get to try very often. Big larvae, and also way down there at the end, the red ants and their larvae.
We do it.
And maybe we can talk to Frog Lady about maybe frying them up for us.
Can do that.
We can?
Yeah, I can ask her.
Gross, huh?
These are bamboo borer larvae. The name says it all. They live by boring their way through rotting bamboo, eating as they go.
Should I dive in?
You're the one who's like, oh, I love these.
Okay. Chin chin. Ooh. Wow. Like a French fry of Thai version.
Believe me, I like these. but you can taste that rotted wood pulp.
I know what you mean now, yeah. I never noticed that.
So they're crunchy and they taste like Cheetos on the outside, but on the inside, they taste like worm vomit.
No!
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what it is.
How do you know what's the worm it is?
Because I've eaten it. What about the ant larvae? I mean, look at those.
I never tried.
That's very yummy.
These larvae have not been living on rotting wood. They've been raised on royal jelly from a queen ant.
It's all right. It's not bad. It's good, actually.
I love ant larvae because it's so sweet. And as long as you don't spend too much time chewing, you won't get the little legs in your teeth.
When you buy and eat most bugs from your typical roadside stall, they can be old, flavorless, and dried out. But not here.
To be able to buy it fresh from that guy and walk 5 feet over here and have somebody's mom fry it up for us is fantastic.
Wonderful.
There are markets in Tijuana that live up to every stereotype about cheap junk for the tourist trade. And then there's Mercado Hidalgo that sells food to the people who really live and work around here. To help me find a true taste of Baja here at the Mercado, I've enlisted the help of Solange Muris, a gifted cook and dedicated evangelist of the Baja food scene.
See, I like walking the markets with somebody who knows what's what. Speaking of which, what is that, pig?
Chicharrón prensado, yeah, that's pig.
Chicharrón prensado, pressed pig.
Yes.
It doesn't look much like a pig, but this is a solid block of pig skin with pig fat and assorted pig parts all pressed into one gelatinous mass.
Help yourself. Thank you. I love food that wiggles and you can see through it. Oh my gosh.
Very good.
All the fat pushed down and it's just the texture is, I mean, that's like porky, rubbery, plasticky, good, and you're just like, it's so weird and then it's heaven. That's nice. Oh yeah. You really gotta love pork fat, but this is pretty rocking.
There's the taste of all of Mexico here, and even a taste of the past. Solange snacked on this when she was a kid.
This is candy for kids with chamoy that is pruned and been dry with a lot of chile.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Dried prunes with hot chili may not be every kid's idea of a great snack, but for some, it's a treat they never outgrow.
I love this. I can eat the whole bowl. With, of course, a few beers and a few mezcals next to it. This is good.
You did not tell me it was also salty.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Salty
perfect
also.
food. No, but seriously, salty, sweet, and sour.
And the spiciness of the
Heaven.
chiles. If you eat too much, they will give you heartburn forever.
When the people who work here at the market or any place nearby are ready for lunch, a lot of them like to come here. Carnitas Kiko, one of the best taquerias in town.
That is one of...
Taquito de sesos.
Oh, taquitos de sesos.
Translation, brain tacos.
Has little bones to say, so be careful.
Well, of course, because they crack open the skull. There's little shards of that stuff in there.
Carnitas Kiko mixes chopped pork brain with red-hot chilies, onions, and cilantro.
It's just like butter. Oh my God. Señor, está buenísimo. Hace mucho que no comía. Está buenísimo.
Fantastic. That is creamy cranium goodness.
Like all good brains, these add a taste of metal to the flavor of the animal, the gleeful spawn of pork and steel. But like Solange said, you've got to chew these things carefully.
Skull.
Don't swallow it.
Yeah.
Brains aren't the only funky ingredient in these tacos.
Sure, pork blood. Pinch my end. Take a little bite.
That's good also.
That's great. They told me it was blood. I thought it was crumbled blood sausage. It's just cooked blood.
With mint, probably an onion, no?
A little bit. A little bit. That's mostly cooked blood.
To be exact, cooked pork blood with pork intestines. Imagine standing in a pigsty eating something with the taste of iron and the smell of liver.
Which is nice with a little bit of onion and cilantro, you know?
Maybe one more taco for the road.
Here's the deal. I had the brain. I had the blood. I think I need one tongue.
Tongue.
Lengua?
Tongue.
Yeah. Poquito. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beauty. That is just gorgeous. Wow.
I love tongue.
Me too. Anybody who likes, roast beef, hot roast, this is the tastiest piece of meat on the animal. It's just fantastic. Nice job, too. Very perfectly cooked. Oh.
Gracias, gracias.
If you're looking for some of the best food in TJ, go where the locals go. Markets, like Hidalgo, is where it's all happening. Hong Kong is one of the most densely populated places on Earth, more than 6,000 people per square kilometer. When it comes to buildings, the most densely packed district in Hong Kong is Causeway Bay. It's on the north coast of Hong Kong Island, created when the city filled in what used to be a bustling port. Along with Fifth Avenue, the Ginza, and Slopeside in Aspen, it's got some of the most expensive real estate in the world. Ironically, Causeway Bay has some of the best and least pretentious grab-and-go eats in town, making it very popular with the city's hip young gastronauts. Like Amy Ma, food and lifestyle reporter for the Wall Street Journal. She starts us off at what looks like a village farmer's market, dropped into a nest of steel and glass skyscrapers. This is Jardines Bazaar. Unlike my friend Johannes, Amy eats what she likes, period. She doesn't care a whit about the gustatory TCM tenets, but some of what she likes is by default TCM friendly.
There are two types of preserved eggs. This one is the uncooked version.
For someone suffering from the kind of digestive trouble I've had on this trip, TCM prescribes eggs, preserved in a mix of ash, salt, and lime, for months. People all over Asia did this to preserve their eggs way before there was refrigeration. Do you like those?
Yeah, it's a cultural thing.
Oh! But look, it's got that lovely black goo coming out of it.
Sensationalize it.
Let me tell you something, I don't have to sensationalize it. That just speaks for itself.
So it's got a kind of gelatinous layer, and there's the inside gooier yolk, which tastes a bit like mushrooms.
Yeah. Like many foods born of necessity, it's become comfort food in this culture. You just tuck into it like anything else?
You can serve it with congee, you can...
But why dilute the fabulous au naturel flavor? Because as I'm sure you can imagine, that just tastes fantastic all by itself.
When Amy thinks I'm weaseling out of this by taking a smaller piece, she has no compunction about shaming me in front of my crew.
And you cut yourself a much smaller... Did you guys see this?
Hold on.
Bizarre foods, guys.
Hold on, what do you mean?
It's twice as big. Inoffensive and like savory.
I hate to admit it, but she's right. It's much less offensive than it looks.
It's like brie cheese.
No, it's got that mushroom taste. It has a little bit of
It has a little bit of umami-ish aroma, that's for sure. It's
Right?
a little woodsy. That's just the egg rot. And I mean that in a nice way.
These things are tolerable, but I'm a little tired of settling for tolerable. And I'm with someone who's perfectly happy leading me astray from my dietary commitment.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
You have to start with the Hong Kong waffle.
The Hong Kong waffle is made with custard powder and tapioca flour, sugar and starch, two absolute don'ts according to my TCM doctor. Time to weigh the alternatives.
Don't eat anything that I want to eat and travel around with this image of Dr. Ho in the back of my head, or eat everything I want to eat with Amy. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, pal. That is a no-brainer. Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was like a little cookie.
Like a fortune cookie plus a waffle.
It's a fortune cookie, a waffle, and a mini donut.
For tonight, the TCM diet is on hold.
Sorry, Dr. Ho.
The wide array of tropical fruits here is incredible. Made Certainty will try to decipher some of them for me. She's the head chef at a local restaurant and is a frequent shopper here. Made grew up with the island's array of unusual tropical fruits, like the dragon fruit and jackfruit,
The problem with jackfruit is that they're very, very big. You and I both know that's not even that big. Jackfruit can sometimes be really big.
Big size.
Yeah. Look at that, she's gonna take the core out for us.
Yeah.
Very nice of you. See, this is why I always tell people, come to markets early in the morning. Still a lot of produce and product here. You can grab all kinds of good stuff and take it back to the beach, the hotel room, wherever you're staying, and you have fantastic local food. What you can do is you break this open and you pull out. Very, very sweet. This has an aftertaste that tastes a little bit like sour onions, but not as bad as durian. It's just that sweet floral flavor on the front part of the bite is worth absolutely all of the misery on the end.
And there's something I've never seen before. Looks like one thing, tastes like another.
What are these, potatoes?
Like potato, sweet potato, very, very sweet.
The fruit?
Yes, it's fruit.
Smells like a pear. Big seeds.
Yeah, big seed. It's very sweet. Yummy.
Yummy. That's awesome. This tastes like caramel. Tastes like burnt sugar, but it has the consistency of like a nectarine or a peach. Saba. Looks like a Yukon gold potato, has the texture of a nectarine, and tastes like you're biting into caramel taffy.
Also unique to this area, something called the clang kang.
Oh, look at that. See, inside of this is that beautiful little melon-like berry. Yeah, it looks just like a lychee or a longan.
Yeah, like jelly, you know.
Oh. It's different. It's more floral. It tastes more like flowers than lychee or longan.
Lychee, yeah.
That's very, very nice. That is very, very cool. It's like honeydew melon in miniature.
The salad.
I've never seen those before.
The snake skin fruit.
Snake skin fruit?
Yeah. Want to try some?
Yeah, I'd love to try some.
So again, Mom.
Well, of course, Mom will get me a good one.
Its real name is salak, but you can see and feel why it's called snakeskin.
If I handed this to you and said, this is snakeskin, you'd say, yeah. It's amazing. It just comes off like a thin membrane. So you just eat this?
Yeah. Manis, sweet, he said.
Come on, what does that smell like? Be honest.
A white man's armpit.
Exactly. You are absolutely correct. A white man's armpit.
Good? Good?
No, it's not good. And I don't mean that disrespect. You know me, I'll eat anything. This has a very sour, acrid underarm smell. And the taste is like bad cheese, not even good cheese. You know? I mean, I get it. If you grow up on this, it probably does taste delicious.
It's nice. Mama, kan ini manis.
It is very difficult for a Westerner to get used to.
This is ripe, she says.
Well, yeah, clearly. Clearly. I mean, this could, take varnish off a chair.
When you shop at a market like this, there's a safe bet you can find some outstanding restaurants or food stands in the neighborhood.
Is this the place?
I guess.
After you. Like this one, selling koto makassar. That's water buffalo soup. Tongue, intestines, lungs, heart, it all goes into a spicy broth.
One for you, one for me. So ready to eat.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This is excellent. Really clean, very spicy, beefy. This is wonderful. This is Makassar grandmother food.
And here's a nice little slice of the intestinal tract.
Chewy, a little poopy. A little poopy. You want some fat and connective tissue? You come to Taraja, baby. You get a bowl of Choto Makassar. Chewy, see what I'm saying? People like the knuckles and the collagen and the sinew and the trotter. I mean, all the little pieces that are extremely chewy chunky.
Johannesburg. It's the largest city in South Africa. a place of dazzling abundance and desperate poverty, where you'll find steel and glass skyscrapers along with rundown shanty towns. And some of its most interesting people and food can be found in places where visitors are rarely seen. One of those places is Yeovil Market, where they sell a popular medicinal product, dirt.
Where's the better mud from? Congo or South Africa?
There are some people who need only this one, and there are some who need this one.
Mud from the Congo is pressed, salted, and burned before serving, while the South African mud is not. Pregnant women and other health seekers turn to the clay for its minerals and antitoxin properties.
We can eat it? I can eat it?
You can.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's nice, eh?
it's dirt. It's really good dirt,
Yeah.
but it's dirt. Chalky, sweet,
Yes.
earthy. It tastes like mud from a river. You know, it tastes like it came from water. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
This is the kind of place where Johannesburg's working people shop for things most grocery stores don't have. Next, we head over to the Dubba Dubba snack shop.
Is this a sandwich?
Well, actually, it's quite an interesting sort of compiling of a quarter loaf of this one. They call it a quarter. There's variations about what they actually put inside the quarter.
You guys have one that's got everything?
Rent 51.
The last one.
The end.
Is it the last one? Even better. Yeah. I reckon that's the one you should get.
Thank you very much. This is like...
That's heavy stuff.
This is like 7 pounds of sandwich.
Yeah, this is heavy duty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Cheerio. Bye. This should be the experience. I'm very curious about what you think over that.
Wow.
Whoa. Look at that. How is that?
The sausage is interesting.
Uh-huh.
A lot of competing flavors and textures there. It's the French fries on a sandwich thing that I actually am kind of digging.
Yeah, is it working for you?
This is a grease and gut bomb
Well, there's no
extraordinaire.
doubt.
Give me a couple hours and I'll finish this, and then we can be on our way.
Let me leave you whilst you actually consume, all right? So I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Yeah, wait up.
Twigs of arxus, a sweet spice seasoning used for infusions. Think of it as a variant on cinnamon bark.
It's from a tree that grows nowhere but in rock. It's very sweet. The way you do it, just watch what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
It's very sweet.
Like licorice.
Yeah, it's licorice.
Take the bark off.
Arxus is commonly used to remedy a sore throat. It's also a key ingredient in the making of everyone's favorite tonic, snail soup.
Bring it on.
Snail soup is a great way to relieve the symptoms associated with the common cold, and it's readily available around Fez in the wintertime.
Here you have one with even has its little ears still on it. See, that's a nice snail. It's very, very earthy. Frankly, they taste more like mushrooms than anything else. The texture of mushrooms, the flavor of mushrooms.
These guys are making shakes out of milk, ice, and fresh market ingredients, like berries and avocados. That's right, it's an avocado milkshake. Oy vey.
Oh, my Lord. It's hard to put my lips to this. When I think avocado, I think guacamole. It's good, but not great. Avocado has that oily, nutty flavor that I love when it's pushed to the savory side. When you pull it over to the sweet side, I don't know, it just seems odd to me. Avocado milkshake, in all honesty, just a little too bizarre for me.
As day turns to night, people start hitting the souk for more substantial meals. I've already had kefta once today, but not like this.
This looks very much like a Dr. Frankenstein experiment. I mean, right down to the crackled skin from the spleen.
This is taihan, an everything but the kitchen sink kefta. Beef pancreas, liver, testicles, and camel sausage, browned together with spices and cooked inside a fresh camel's spleen.
So the way to use the spleen, because nobody likes spleen, is to stuff it with other foods that people like.
That's right.
And you make them eat it. All right. This is really, really good. Really good. And I like just the hint of bull testicle in it. You can really pick up, that's fantastic. Here's the deal. If that rooster crows one more time, the headache that I'm beginning to get is gonna get into oh my gosh, enough already!
Sure, you gonna talk to him?
No, what I want to do is I want to walk off the 375 pounds of food that you shoved down my throat. Shukran. Sure, I love this guy.
If the grab-and-go food in Fez is this good, imagine how fabulous the fancy food here can be.